Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pooya and Liana Lounge for episode 8 of what we do around here, which, number 1, is have a lot of fun. Number 2, talk about a bunch of random stuff. Steve Jobs / Elizabeth Holmes can't be with us for this episode. Liana's back. How you doing?
I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
It's 6 p.m.
My sleepiness actually has nothing to do with 6 p.m. and you have text receipts to know that I was sleepy all day.
That is true. Do you not find that you get second adrenaline at different times of day? Like where, so for example, for me, when I'm having like a tired moment, it's like a little window. If I want to, I can go to bed and take a nap in that window and I'll just be out for like a couple hours. But if I pass that, that's it. I'm back awake. I'm like regular me again.
I'm not a nap person in general. I have to be really tired in order to take a nap. For example, right now, a nap sounds lovely.
Well, this is the podcast equivalent of a nap where it's just a little chill sesh.
Oh, I was like,
it's a little rest time.
What does that mean?
It's a little rest time for people.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
calm.
it's definitely a little bit more chill which I believe the main reason why I am so tired today is because we did the RHAP Survivor draft last night. Which I'm sure we have a lot of thoughts on. So again, for context, well, okay, we went. Oh my God, so many things.
So much has happened.
So much has
since
happened.
We last talked to you.
We recorded like 2 episodes in 1 week. We go on vacation. We're like away from everything. A bunch of stuff happens. Now we're back and we're recording this on a Tuesday, but Survivor premieres tomorrow. But you're gonna hear this until a Friday. Like it's just the timelines are so jumbled. Regardless, so everybody knows we just recorded last night the Survivor draft, and Pooya was embroiled in scandal.
I wouldn't say embroiled in scandal.
I would say embroiled in scandal.
I'm livid. I'm so livid. And here's the thing.
Laughing.
Here's the thing. So if you watch my stream, twitch.tv/Pooya, you may know I've been vocal about this, that I've publicly declared I'm going for one person and one person only. For the first time in the history of Survivor, 48 seasons, we have a Persian man on the show. And
a bearded Persian man.
Hello, me. And I was like, first of all, I was like, I'm going to want to pick him no matter what. Then I checked his like interview out and his bio out. And I was like, oh my God. And he's rootable. And I think he has a good shot of winning.
Yeah.
I want him. And so I was like, let me be vocal about this. And there's going to be some behind the scenes that people don't know about. But I've had conversations with many of the drafters about my desire to have Shaheen on my team. And to my stream, I've said, I'm not shying away from this. If I don't get Shaheen, whoever prevented me from getting Shaheen, they're not going to like what they're going to get from me. My villain arc will load up. So me and Shannon, as you all know, are talking Australian Survivor every week now, which is actually pretty great. Every Tuesday, that's my slot, the middle episode of the week. And we had recorded the episode for the drop on Tuesday, the night prior to the draft. And I was like, Shannon, can you tell me what the draft order is? Like, And she was like, absolutely not. Which I was like, I wasn't expecting Shannon to do that. Shannon definitely will hold her cards to the chest and has the integrity to not give out the result that way. Which I was like, that's fair. I was like, well, you know where I stand. I want Shaheen. She was like, you're gonna have Shaheen. And I was like, you can't guarantee I have Shaheen. She's like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't think anyone's going to take him from you. And I was like, I don't see it that way. Like, she was like, well, I'm not going to take him from you. He's not high on my list. Liana's not going to take him from you. You're together. And I was like, so am I third in the draft? She was like, I'm not going to tell you anymore. I was like, okay. And I was like, cool. I went to bed thinking, okay, I don't think Liana would. Now that I know Shannon's not got him on the radar, Shannon's not. I know Chappelle's not. And I don't think Asia will, because Asia, when Asia did the draft order for 46, Asia knew who I wanted. And confidently gave me third, being like, I knew the first 2 weren't going to go for Venus. I was like, cool. The one wild card is Taryn, because Taryn looks at the pet peeves and says, fuck it. I'm going to pick whoever I vibe with on the pet peeves.
Yeah.
So then the next day, Monday, I start cramming the rest of the cast because we had been away and I had not looked at everybody. So I was like, let me do my research on everybody else, because my plan is get Shaheen, and honestly, if I get the grenade after that, I don't care.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, let me just look at everybody. And then I realized maybe like an hour before the draft, oh snap, you know what? Pet peeves are going to be a thing for Taryn. Let me go look at the pet peeves. I looked at Shaheen's, I was like, Miss the forest for the trees. I was like, I don't think this is. He listens to the
You
sound of his own
said
voice.
he's got garbage pet peeves. I'll be fine. That's what you told me.
I genuinely. I mean, granted, I didn't look at everyone else's pet peeves, but I was
Yeah.
like, this doesn't look like the pet peeves because
Yeah.
in my head, he's not making it out of the first round, right? So as long as he doesn't have top 3 best pet peeves, I'm okay. And I didn't think based on what I saw, it was a top 3 pet peeve. So we get to the draft. Shannon does her order. Taryn's first. Asia's second. You're third.
No, I was fourth.
Chappelle. No,
Shannon's
third. You're
I'm
fourth. I'm fifth. Chappelle's sixth. And I was like, okay. So then Rob's like, the draft begins. Taryn, go ahead. And all I can think in my head is, as long as Taryn doesn't pick Shaheen, I think I've got him. As long as Taryn doesn't pick Shaheen, I think I've got him. Taryn starts giving a spiel about the pet peeves, and I was like, here we go. And I was like, just not Shaheen. It was like that scene in Harry Potter where he's closing his eyes, like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. I'm like, not Shaheen, not Shaheen. He says Shaheen.
I couldn't believe it.
I was distraught. I just melted in my chair. I turned my camera off and I just sat there stewing. And I was like, and Shannon's face, she's like, oh my God, I had no idea this was going to happen. Then when Asia was like, Pooya, what did you expect him to go to you at 5th? I was like, no, I thought he should go first because I wanted him first. But Shannon telling me that I have him so confidently is what was bothering me because I was like, I don't think so. Yeah. So anyway, I said it on the draft. I will be rooting for Taryn's team.
Yep.
If he wins, I will be fine with him being the first 2-time winner if it's not me. If it's not me. So yeah, it is what it is. But I was not happy, y'all. I was not happy. I will say though, I have a pretty banging team. I'm very happy with my team.
Okay, sorry. I have something.
Are you crying?
No,
It's okay.
I know. I'm so sad.
It's okay.
I'm so sad.
You didn't get Shaheen either.
I couldn't
It's fine.
have either. It's so funny. I did have a moment where I was like, depending on the draft order, if Shannon puts me higher than you, like, should I just take him, like, just so he's on one of our
Keep
teams,
him in
like,
the
just to
family?
keep him in the family,
Yeah.
just to be on the safe side. If, like, for example, I was second or something and you were 6th or whatever,
Yeah.
like, is there a universe where I just snap him to keep him up? But it was truly a gag. Like, I think there could not have been another draft pick that would have been so disruptive.
Out the gate.
Yeah, out the gate.
Pick
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if someone had picked David first, right? Like that maybe is the only other one that's like equally disruptive.
Right. But that's, yeah, I was actually pretty floored with the way the draft went. I thought I landed, like, the fact that I got Mary at 17th, floored.
So my draft order, like, people were picking people that were at the very bottom of my draft.
Yeah.
And I will not say who.
No, you will never know this.
But my draft board, I was so thrilled with the picks.
Yeah.
And when we got to the final 3 with, I think it was Mary, David, and Chrissy, I was like, I can't lose here. Like, I'm obsessed with all of these
I
picks.
felt the same way. And when I was talking to Chappelle at the end, I was like, I could go either way.
Yeah.
I meant that. I really liked both.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm sorry. That tweet from Mary that I saw, she won me over a month ago. And I was like, I need Mary on my team if I can have her. And we found out that Chappelle already had Say, who was been on the social media. So it was like, you can't have both. I'm sorry.
You can't have both.
It just
social
ain't
media
gonna happen.
queens.
So same like you. I think I got 3 of my top 6.
Yeah, same.
So with being at 5th,
I think by the time well, no, because I think
there was a world where I was going to be like, I was looking at the last round. I was like, I might get screwed here a little bit because I don't get many choice, but it worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
thought it worked out totally fine. I think that the grenade was probably taken earlier. Like, I don't think that one of us got left with the grenade. Like, one of the last 3 picks.
I mean, in before disaster strikes, and luckily
David's not going home first. Like, I'm sorry,
You're
that
fine.
meat man is gonna be fine.
So I give you permission in the event that I have the grenade, play the Curb Your Enthusiasm song and show my pick going home because the episode the premiere's tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So by the time you get this podcast, we know who the grenade was.
Okay, I'll do the majority. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
We'll sort it out.
I'll figure it out. Well, because I also
Might have
gotta
to do it
the
in post, but
yeah, you gotta do all the B&B prep and stuff too.
True.
Yeah, because now like Survivor season's back in full swing. So
Yeah. Your workload's about to increase.
I mean, it's interesting because I'm doing 2 podcasts a week, right? So one more, it's like, oh, it's just one more. And it's like, well, technically that's like a 50% increase in load. You know what I mean? I'm going from 2 to 3. So
Well, and I feel like in both your podcasts, there is a decent amount of prep work, right? With Drag Race, I feel like you're putting together the look slides and everything. With B&B, y'all come up with games and stuff. So it's not like a just watch the episode and pull up. Like you have a little bit more going on there. Whereas I'm about to enter my off season soon because Traitors US is coming to an end in about 2 weeks, which by the way, wildest week of Traitors this week for me. A lot happened. Obviously, if you've watched the episode, you've seen who gets banished and all that stuff that went down. I had a lot of feelings about that. But Sam Asghari.
Oh my
Speaking
God.
of me and Persian men this week.
You've gotten in so much controversy when it comes to you and other Persian men on reality TV.
So if you don't know the full context, right before the season of Traitors started, I was tasked with doing a project where once a day, I had a podcast released where me and a guest who was more of an expert on the player we were talking about joined me. And we would break down the person. They would teach me who they are. What do we think their strengths are? How are they going to do? Will it be a traitor? Will it be a faithful? Will they give a good confessional? Blah, 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 blah. And so when we got to the Sam Asghari one, Kirsten was my guest. And I was like, well, Kirsten's a mess magnet. She might know the ins and outs of Sam. And when we get on, turns out Kirsten was also doing research to learn about Sam. And the idea we had heard from people was like, ew, Tom Sandoval and Sam are here. So I felt like they were on
and Sam? Wait, why did people give that reaction?
Well, because I still don't know the full story here, but with Britney Spears and the divorce, it was kind of like there was kind of like people were like, we're Team Britney, screw this guy. So I was like, what did he do? Because I know Sandoval, I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
So Kirsten was like, yeah, I looked him up and I did some research, and he's not as I don't see any like huge red flags. Okay. And on the podcast, I was like, I don't know if I'm claiming him yet. Me and the Persians, I'm usually backing him. I'm riding with them. I don't know if I'm claiming Sam. So when I get to the exit, and this happened month before the show ever went on air, and 2 months before we see the Sam moments of brilliance on the show that they were hiding from us. Yeah. So I get on the pod. Rob was supposed to join me. He's not there. So it's just me and Sam.
And also we're in air, like we're traveling. Right? Also. So Pooya's not in his normal setup. Like internet connection's not super strong.
Well, that's the funny thing, right? Is that I had recorded 3 podcasts up until that exit interview. Yeah. All of them went off perfectly. No issues.
It must have been his internet then.
I don't think so. I've seen the other interviews. I think it's Zoom. I think Zoom was not gelling with me. Because StreamYard was working flawlessly. Anyway, so we get into I joined the Zoom call, and already I'm like, I'm noticing some lag, but I also know how time sensitive these things are. I have 10 minutes with him. It's like, you know what? We'll be fine. Let's roll. And then in the intro, I'm like, they've been calling they've been calling my boy, and I get to talk to him now. Sam Asghari. Sam, how you doing? Sam was like, they've been saying that I'm your boy? I was like, that's what they've been saying. And this man pulled out, he listened to that podcast with Kirsten. I was like, I heard you don't claim me. And I was like, no, that wasn't me. That was someone else. I kind of like laugh it off, but then he was so nice. Like he understood that this was the impression he was gonna give going in, and that especially if you don't know him, you don't know what to make of him. So very great conversation. I loved it. I think if I was on a show, I would definitely be checking receipts after or during or whatever to be like, what are people saying about me? And then if I talk to them, like, you still hold that judgment? Or if they were right, I'd be like, well, you nailed it. I like that meta-ness of it. So I was very much here for it.
I think Sam, that's the kind of edit though that you want. I mean, I don't know. Like for me personally, that's kind of I would love the low expectations and then like nailed it kind of, because he really, I think, showed so much. And even Brittany, she's been doing a lot of stuff with her Patreon and giving a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. And she's made some comments about how good Sam was as a player and like how he was really listening and watching, like paying attention. So I think it would be funny to go back and watch some of the early episodes to keep like Sam watch.
See what else he was doing that we didn't see.
He had brought up like, look, Boston Rob, if you show up, if you're not here, or if you are
here, we'll look at you tomorrow.
Exactly. And then, that kind of gets yada yada. But clearly like he was thinking these things and like having these confessionals. So I think it's also just a nice reminder too that there's so much that we don't see. So as someone who comments on these shows, especially the ones that aren't like not Big Brother, right? The ones that are so highly edited that you have to just keep all of that in mind whenever you're making.
That's why I find it absolutely crucial to get as many exits as we can. Which is tougher with the US because I feel like some of the cast do not give press days, so we just don't get to talk to them. But like having done exits with every single person from Traitors Canada, I feel like you get so much more insight and you get to, because some people are like, okay, I can see why there wasn't maybe more content there.
Yeah.
But then some people are like, I don't know why we didn't learn more about you. You're compelling, but also your mind is working for this game, but where were the confessionals, So I was happy with what we got. The internet had their laugh at me. I'm fine with this, like I said, so it's all cool. But yeah, no, it's been a wild week because all of this also happens both during and as we got back from a big trip. We were gone for a whole week.
Yeah, we were gone for a week. We went to sunny Arizona. We went to the Grand Canyon.
It's my birthday mug.
Pooya got to see... Yep.
There's a lot going on this mug.
Yep. Pooya got to see the Grand Canyon.
I did.
What were your opinion? Did it bring you to tears?
It was grand.
Was it a canyon?
It was a canyon. Yeah, no, it was beautiful. This is my problem, and I feel this a little bit where, how people will be like, let's go sightseeing or let's go to a museum. I don't think I appreciate these things as much as some other people do. So, like, once we saw it, I was like, all right, calm. What do we do now? And I was like, okay, we're getting on the shuttle and we're seeing it from another angle. I was like, but we saw it. Like, why are we still seeing this? But then...
So for some context, we're also with a family member who is really into taking pictures, right? So is appreciating all the different angles, is appreciating all the different sites, is appreciating all of this. So the contrast between the two is very funny to me.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that I understand. I get it. It's weird. Or like I'm just, most people would take advantage of the opportunity. But I took some photos and I was like, all right, calm.
Like we did it. Well, it's funny because we were there for 2 days. So the first day we pull up and it's, we had driven up there. So it was a little bit later in the day. We pull up, we get in the shuttle bus, we see the Grand Canyon, we go to a few different stop points. And then Pooya turns to me, he's like, well, what are we going to do tomorrow? He was like, we'd already seen the Grand Canyon.
Because my thought was we're driving in today and then we're going to check in and just chill.
At the hotel or at the B&B.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we're going to go see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
So when we parked and went to go see the Grand Canyon, I thought, this is great. What's happening tomorrow then? Because are we not done after that? Turns out, no, we're not done after that. But because we took the shuttle and saw like all the different angles. And then the next day we went on a little walk on the trail, which that was actually very nice. Me and Liana went on a solo mission.
Yeah, Pooya's not a hiker in any way, shape, or form. So any trail that was non-paved was pretty much out of the question. So we walked along the rim trail, which is paved, and you can go all the way to like the Grand Canyon, like from the visitor center all the way to the village. So it's like a decent little chunk.
Yeah, I just don't like hiking.
Yeah, and that's fair. You don't have to like hiking.
Yeah. But
so we did that, and we saw the Grand Canyon from even more angles.
Yes.
What a gag.
I realized that I get anxiety when people stand too close to like the edge.
Yes.
I didn't like that at all.
You very much hated that. And he was like panicking the entire time.
It gives me, because like, I guess I don't know, like the intrusive thought or like
what happens if they fall kind of thing.
And like I told you at one point, I was like, I'm sorry. Like I love all my people, but if someone falls, I'm not going in to save you. I can't do that. So all that's going to happen is I'm going to sit there in tears, in like crying, terrified of what happens after this, even though I'm not the one like it's not me in the pit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay to cry for your loved one's demise when they fall into
the
Grand Canyon.
I'm like, again, it's like cameras now are great. You can do, my phone does 100 zoom. You can zoom so far in, it looks like you're in the canyon. Like you don't need to stand, even right now thinking about it, I'm getting like the shakies.
Okay. I mean, it's an evolutionary response to prevent, like these things come up for reasons, you know what I mean? Like it's normal to be afraid of heights because you should be afraid of heights because if you fall from heights, not a good combo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's totally normal. That's okay. We also got to see there was an elk pack that crossed in front of the bus.
The shuttle, yeah.
Look, Pooya nature.
It was very funny because there was like a group of 15 of these elks just crossing the street. And the shuttle driver they got jokes. They're like, wow, you're gonna wait, like set us back here. Take your time. It's like, all right, yeah. Haha.
Like ad-libbing into the microphone.
My immediate thought was, how many times do you think she's done this joke?
The same joke.
Yeah, definitely a lot, right?
I like the idea that she's essentially similar to a stand-up comedian where she just has her like 5-minute set or whatever,
Right.
and she's like workshopping it, you know?
Yeah.
Like each time she's sort of improving on the jokes. I like that. I like that concept.
Yeah.
I think for me, the thing about the Grand Canyon is, okay, the thing about the Grand Canyon,
The Grand Canyon.
like imagine there's a mountain, okay? And you're driving up to the mountain, you can see it from far away. You're like, okay, we're coming up on the mountain. Or like, we're coming up on the New York City skyline. Like these sort of big, grandiose, like things that are very beautiful to see. But you can see them from afar. The thing about the Grand Canyon is you're just like in a forest. You just like drive up and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a big hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes out of nowhere. There's no anticipation. Obviously, I know on Google Maps we're getting closer to the Grand Canyon. But it's...
It just suddenly
You
happens.
can't see it. Like you come
Yeah.
out of the trees and all of a sudden you're just like, ah, it's a giant hole. Anyway, it was very cool. My favorite part of the Grand Canyon is there's like this white layer and then like the red layer. I liked those. Very reminiscent of our background, sort of.
Yeah, it's like brick.
It's like brick. Yeah, it's
White
very cool.
rocks. Red rocks.
rocks.
Slightly less red rocks.
Yeah.
Rocks that look like they're kind of green, but they're not.
No. And then the other thing that happened was we went to dinner at this restaurant, which is in the village, the Grand Canyon Village.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this happened. We got so lucky. They seated us in the private room
Yeah.
where Teddy Roosevelt sat and Joe Biden.
Yeah, two different chairs that were sat
Yes.
in by two different presidents.
Yes, and they were like, this was Teddy Roosevelt's chair.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and this was where Joe Biden sat
Yeah.
in like 2021 or something like that. I don't
it was
remember what year.
2023.
Okay, 2023, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
So, so that was somehow very exciting. We were in a like private room. They shut the doors.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, but in a cool way.
Yeah. And we have no idea how we got it. We just
No.
called and made a reservation like normal.
Yeah.
So they could tell that we were, you know, famous or whatever.
Yeah? Is that what you thought?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. And now, next time someone else goes in, and like, yeah, so President Roosevelt, President Biden, Liana from the B&B,
Exactly.
Pooya from the Traitors podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, because we were in two of the other chairs.
Hey, yeah, and here sat a guy that Britney Spears' ex shat on. Yay! I want that seat, Dad. But yeah, my favorite part of the trip was we went kayaking one day, and it was my first time kayaking, and I messed with it. I liked it quite a bit. It was very fun.
Yeah.
And it was smooth. There wasn't a lot of a learning curve to it, and I enjoyed myself. I was so worried about the thing capsizing. It never did. So it was chill.
When you were dealing with like a shoulder injury.
Oh
as
my
well,
God.
So that was kind of like a whole other
Yeah,
debacle.
that was like an underlying part of the entire trip, which I do apologize on air, as I have done off air, because I feel like I was very much annoying to Liana.
Yes.
Maybe don't agree too fast, because what had happened
Say
was,
more. Yes,
so we were on the
please.
plane over, and there was
No, we were sitting in the airport in Newark, and you leaned over.
we were on the plane at that point.
Really? But I thought it
Yeah.
was before we boarded when you had the first thing.
So the first thing that happened, I felt a little bit of a chest pain.
Oh, okay. I thought that was...
And like my mind, and I've talked about, I don't know where I've talked about this, but like as I've been getting older, I panic a lot and I overthink things like this. So as I'm getting older, I feel any type of ailment, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And it's stupid because that's not how you should think, but that is how I think. So I had this chest pain, I was like, that was
dying.
weird. But let me not ruin the vibe. We're about to fly. It's cool. We get on the plane. We get situated. We're getting ready for liftoff. Liana leans her head on my shoulder. And I was like, oh, babe. And then I go to lean on her shoulder. As I do this, a pain just goes through my chest. And I was like, oh my God. Because it was a very sharp pain. I don't feel that. I've not felt something like that normally. And then I was like, wow, that was painful. Let me be calm. And then as I'm breathing, I'm noticing when I take a deep breath, it hurts. And I was like, this is bad. I'm now full panic mode. We haven't even, the plane has not left the gate. And I'm like, this is bad. Something bad is about to happen. And then on the plane, I start sharing with you my feelings because I couldn't keep them in. And then you were like, listen, when we land, We'll diagnose it. We'll like go through some questions and we'll figure it out. Thankfully, Liana has taken anatomy once upon a time. So she's very familiar with the body.
I know where our organs are.
Yeah. And so she was like, it's muscle. It's not a lung. Because my worry was lung, chest, like heart vein, some stuff like that. So it's just muscle.
It's your muscle.
You're fine. Just treat it. So I was applying ointment, had some ibuprofen when I needed to, ice, heat, ice. And like the weird thing was that happened. Then 2 days later, we went kayaking and I had zero issues kayaking. The pain was not like when I was, doing the kayaking, no pain at all. The next day, I had a bit of soreness on the shoulders and stuff, but not, that pain was like kind of just festering. It was not worse. But then when we were at the Grand Canyon, the night at the B&B, I slept. And when I sleep, I move around a little bit.
A lot.
A little bit.
A lot.
Just a tad.
A lot.
Minimal.
I have pictures to prove it.
Weird. She takes photos of me while I'm asleep in compromised positions.
I agree. It's weird. But the poses you make while you're sleeping are so funny. You've done like the Air Jordan like logo while you're sleeping. Sometimes you sleep with your arm just like up like this.
I know. And then I wake up and my arm is numb.
Because you're holding it up like this all night.
So I have a tendency of, some people are like they can only sleep on their back. I can sleep in any position. Back, left side, right side.
You do sleep in every position.
Yeah, or face down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that does concern me sometimes because I'm like, he's suffocating into his pillow.
It feels nice. Anyway, so I have a tendency of defaulting, I think, sleeping on my stomach. And
no, you sleep like this. You sleep like this.
Okay, what is that?
That's how you sleep.
That? I took a photo of you making a similar walk like this during this trip.
Okay, how dare you? First of all, I was doing that on purpose.
I know.
To make jokes.
Yeah. You want me to send it to you? Put it right here. No, don't put any photos of anything because I don't want photos of me being asleep on this podcast. So, oh wow, my mic's doing the thing your mic did now. How long has it been like this?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll be fine, hopefully. Where were we? Oh,
you were talking
sleeping.
about your chest pain.
So we were sleeping. And then I, at one point in the middle of sleeping, rolled onto my stomach and my chest started feeling a lot of pain. So it woke me from being asleep. And I was like, okay, I can't go back to sleep now. I'd only been asleep like an hour 15. And everyone else is asleep because it's like middle of the night. So I was like, you know what? I need to figure out how to sort this out because I can't go back to sleep now. It hurts. So I looked it up. What could this be? And I found something called intercostal strain. And this was like a rib strain. I was like, well, this ain't in the rib, so I don't think it's this. But all the symptoms lined up. Like not shortness of breath. Pain when breathing in deep, had that. Random pain, had that. And then the causes could be caused by sneezing, coughing, or a sharp turn. I was like, man, people will get muscle strain because I went too hard at the gym, or I pulled a muscle like playing football on the weekend. Me, I'm like, I was sitting at my computer and then I did this and it hurt. So I'm a little self-conscious about that already. But I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. It just says to not like put anything on it. So I just kind of tried to find a position to sleep and elevated my back so I couldn't rotate. That ended up being fine. When we landed back here, went to the was it acute care?
Yes.
Yeah, to get it checked. And first time in the history of my life, doctor was like, "You actually nailed it. It is the intercostal strain you have." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Just
come on, WebMD."
Yeah, which I told the doctor, I was like, "I usually avoid looking this stuff up because the symptoms will freak me out." But thankfully, it's fine. Just said apply the ointment and do the ice pack, heating pad, and if it's still painful in 3 weeks, we'll look at you. But like what, it was like 2-3 days now since then, and I'm fine. I'm still not going to try and I'm not testing my luck here, but I'm fine for now. So it's good.
Yeah. I think the only other time I've had like a muscle strain like that, it was in hot yoga and I pulled a similar pulled over muscle.
Crap.
But the problem was as someone who laughs all the time, it was so painful because every single time I laughed, I was in pain, and then I was laughing because I was in pain because how else are you gonna cope?
Crack a rib laughing.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So I can empathize with the situation.
But
yeah, no, we
great trip. I had In and Out for the first time.
You went In and Out for the first time. Yep.
It was good.
Come for him. You thought it was overrated.
It
You think
was-
it's overrated.
It was okay. Like, I enjoyed it. It was a good burger. But the hype that has been settled in me for what feels like a decade now, the In-N-Out's the best burger. It was okay. The problem too was like the fries were not it. So for me, it was like, well, the price is great actually. The price is like 10 out of 10, no notes.
Yes.
And the ingredients fresh, 10 out of 10, no notes. But it was okay.
Yeah.
Like I think the way I told it to you was, if I have to wait in a line for this for 20 minutes, I don't want it. Like I'll be fine to find an alternative source that'll give me the same satisfaction.
I like the fries animal style.
Which that's what you got.
Yeah.
I got them regular style.
Regular style.
And it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we went kayaking as a family, and then I went horseback riding, and I went line dancing.
Yes, you did.
And the line dance, well, the horseback. So first of all, I like grew up riding horses. So whenever you go on these horseback riding trips, they make you just like sit there and you can't do anything, and it's so boring. It's still fun, but like they're assuming that you're a beginner. Like Pooya could have done it. He would have just sat there.
Oh,
you know what I
I
mean?
see. Yeah.
Like you didn't obviously were nervous about the whole situation, didn't go, but
I wouldn't have gone even if I wasn't concerned. I don't like
Yeah.
horse riding.
yeah, okay, and that's fair.
I feel like, and obviously there's a couple of things, but one of them is like, I'm like, I don't want to hurt the horse, and I'm heavy. So,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't want to burden this horse with my weight.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to fall off a horse. And I feel like with me, the odds are high.
You would not have fallen off the horse, but I understand the concern.
I appreciate
But
that.
the to me, the interesting thing that we did is we went line dancing. So
Yes.
Pooya's sister really wanted to go line dancing. Okay.
Yes.
And so I was like, all right, I've never been, whatever. So we find this place, Scootin' Boots. Scootin' Boots at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning has line dance lessons for beginners.
I'm so happy I had podcast obligations because
Not at that time, you did not.
well, no. It's true. But I was also not, I was recording late and I was like, I'm not waking up to go to this at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you missed out though. I will just
That's
say.
what I've been told.
It was so fun. First of all, it's like perfect for the okay. Let me explain the whole situation. So we show up at Scootin' Boots. All right. So we're at Scootin' Boots and we go through, there's like all these little like wooden rooms that they built like fake rooms inside this like big warehouse. So it looked really weird. Like we couldn't really see what was going on. They lead us around the corner and there's this massive like open floor, like warehouse thing with like square wooden floorboards, whatever. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna learn. And I remember, what was the woman's name? Fern, I think was the instructor's name. So Fern has like a little microphone on and Fern is like, okay, everyone, identify your line angels or whatever the term was. There were like people at the end that you could follow. So when you're turning around, because she was very impressed with our group, she was like, we're gonna make it a 4-wall dance instead of a 2-wall dance. It's because we're so good. Anyway, so we ended up doing some 4-wall dances and I had way too much fun. Like, I'm embarrassed to say how much fun I had. Now,
Why embarrassed?
I don't know. I just felt like, is this Liana's aesthetic? You know, like, is Liana a boot and scoot and boot kind of gal? You know,
I can see it.
Yes, and it was like I enjoyed the beginner class. Okay, so we took the beginner class.
You and her did the most you and her thing ever, which was we nailed the beginner class. Let's level up. That wasn't good enough.
Okay, so
Immediately,
Dina-
let's sign up for the next level.
So we stayed for the next class. Immediately, so complicated. That's when my mom decides to take a video of us
Yeah, there's
doing
no
the higher
video
level
of
class.
you doing the regular.
No, there's no video of us doing the beginner level where I'm like, okay, I'm nailing it. We're doing the K step. Like, we know how to do this. Like, we're clapping and we're snapping and we're like we're doing all the things. Instead, it was like the really complicated, like higher level class we decided to try to stay for. So that was an absolute disaster. We like, you can just see, you can't even see my face, but you can tell how confused I am because you're just trying. I didn't know how to spin. It was so hard. But the beginner class was very, very fun. And because it was at 10 a.m. on a Monday, it was like a very eclectic group of people. So there were a number of retirees, which is kind of what I expected. But there was also this massive group of French exchange students for some reason. I have no idea why they came to
How did you know they
Scootin'
were
Boots.
French? And how do you know they were exchange students?
somehow it got mentioned. Like, it was brought up that there's a massive because there was a woman who wanted to take a video of the French exchange students, and she was like, we have
They're
all the
living
French
their
exchange
best
students.
American life here.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it felt. It was like, what's the most stereotypically American thing that we can do while we're here? And going line dancing, going scooting boots. I mean, to be fair, that's what your sister, that was the motivation, was she was like, I want to do the most American thing.
She was like, I want to do this week. I was like, okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then y'all figured it out, and you went.
Yes, it was I would absolutely go back and do more line dance classes with Fern or whatever her name was.
Well, save it for the next trip.
Yeah, I know.
We also did something else this past week. We watched the entirety of Severance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
That was a trip.
Yes, we did. Yes. So we watched, it was on the plane, and Pooya and I had both talked about watching it. We're like, oh, we gotta watch it. We should watch it. Okay. Never ended up happening. Didn't manifest. And then we were on the plane, and Pooya starts watching the first episode. Now, I couldn't cram like Pooya did for the draft. I had to listen to all of the podcasts.
You had the B&B right after.
I had the B&B right when we got back. So like the day after we got back, I had to record the B&B. So I had to have listened to all the interviews. So I'm like cramming through interviews.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Joe, what you got?
So we had to, like, our travel days are interesting because we basically more often than not have to travel up to New York to go to one of the airports to fly out from there. So we left home early. And Liana, by the time we got on the plane, had like nailed half the cast at least.
Yeah, I finished two of the tribes by the time.
Yeah,
we
and it was
Arizona.
like, about a hella detail as Liana would do. So I could tell by the time, like, maybe an hour into the plane, Liana was done. Like, it's enough Survivor.
But
for
also,
now.
like, once you go through so many people, you just start to lose their individuality, right? And you want to remember each individual person. So
that's my problem with doing research for the draft, is that I'll remember the first 3 people very vividly, and then by the last like 17th, 18th people, I'm like, maybe I'll remember like 2 bullet points from each person.
Well, that's why I take notes, first of all.
Yes.
So then it just triggers my memory of like what I felt about that person at a time. And also, okay, this is, I think, a key. If I start zoning out while I'm listening to someone's interview, maybe that says more about them than it does about me.
Wow, that's mean. See,
Maybe
me
you're just
personally, I was
boring.
titillated by every person that I listened to.
I won't name names. No. So we watched Severance, all of it.
Yeah.
And we are now caught up.
Yeah, my immediate thought, which obviously we're not going to discuss any further because we won't give anyone any spoilers or anything, but my immediate thought after watching the finale of the first season was, thank God we didn't have to wait 3 years for the payoff of whatever this is going to be, because that would be a lot. And I feel like I've ranted about this, but shows nowadays, they have like these 2-year drop-offs before the next season, and then they give you crumbs. They're like, here, take 7 episodes, see you in 2028. And it's like, man, that's a long wait. And it's made me, there's some shows that I'm like, yes, that was great, worth the wait next time. Then there's some shows that I'm like, keep it, I don't need it anymore.
I think I would rather, and this is what I heard about why the Severance second season took so long, is because they wanted to make it good.
Well, yeah.
Like, they didn't want to rush it, and that I appreciate.
That
like, I appreciate putting out a quality content, because that's what I would prefer if I'm going to spend my time doing that.
My worry when they do the long gaps is that maybe after like midway through the gap, they're like, you know what? Canceled. We're not renewing this. And then that would be devastating.
Yeah, that would be a big concern.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That was about it. Everything on the trip and the draft and the Traitors. Did you, and I know you've been busy, have you listened to any more of my music, though?
No.
Have you listened to more of your music, though?
Yeah. Some Eurovision. Some music.
Yeah, you fell asleep to Eurovision the other night, which we did see your comments, both in the forum and in the YouTube chat, YouTube comments. When Eurovision season is in full swing, in the lead up potentially, we talked about doing a standalone Eurovision episode to talk about everything, because we both enjoy it very much.
Yeah, or maybe just like an audio only or something. Like something to...
We'll figure out a way to do it where it's like,
like maybe not a regular PAL, but something special.
In the event that it's a video, it'll be a bonus one. It won't be like replacing the Friday night drop or whenever the drop night's going to be. Yeah, it'll be standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so, okay, but I have one last question for you for the trip stuff.
Okay.
How was it to be? So we were with my family and Pooya's family, like a merged family trip. So
Yeah.
how did you feel about the merged family vacay?
It was amazing. I loved it very much.
I thought it was actually worked out really well. I think for me, and I brought this up to my therapist, I was like, there's obviously a little bit of a concern when you it's like bringing two friend groups together.
Which I hated as a kid.
You did? Why?
I hated being the one whose universe was getting crossovered.
Okay.
Because I had like a deep-seated
Insecurity.
worry that they'll become better friends with each other than me.
Aww.
Yeah. So I didn't like that.
So you're very gatekeepy. You were like,
no.
you can't meet each other.
No,
You're
'cause-
my friend.
Not quite, because there was two sides of the coin. One was that. The other side was they're not going to like each other. And then if they don't like each other, they're going to complain about each other to me. And I like both kind of thing. So I didn't want that.
Right. I mean, the worst. So, okay, that's definitely worse when you introduce two people and they don't like each other, but you either need or want them to get along. And that's kind of like the family situation,
Yeah.
right? Whenever you merge two families, it's always like, can you guys just please get along, right? Please, like,
Be friends.
I need, for my own mental health, I just pretend. Fine. Just pretend.
Just fake the funk.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
don't think that was the case. I think everybody got along. I thought went really well.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that. Yeah. It was good. It was a fun trip.
It was a good time.
I'm tired though. I mean, I'm tired now, but also
Just generally, or tired of traveling?
No. I think vacations are really fun, but I think also then, we did so much stuff.
We
and you're
did.
just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to go home. But then I came home and then I had to go to work and I was like, well, I don't want to do that.
Take me back.
Take me
Also,
back.
not
And
for
it's
nothing.
cold.
The weather, the contrast of being in very good weather, sunny,
Yeah.
not too hot,
Yeah.
perfect equilibrium, to then freezing our asses off waiting for the shuttle to get on to the
Okay.
train station.
And everything that I heard when I came back to work and people were like, oh, it's your vacation. It's like, oh, warm weather, blah, blah. Oh, it's so cold. You give like the same lines or whatever. And they were like, well, it was even colder while you were gone. I was like,
We'll take it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's still cold.
Yeah.
I'm still cold.
I don't know how I feel about this with airplanes, but so airplanes have stopped giving you the most of them don't have the screen anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Which the quality on those screens isn't great, but I don't love the idea that I have to use my phone battery to watch content. I used to be able to watch the content on theirs or just have them in my ear and then, play games with my phone or something. But
you
now,
want to do like the Subway Surfers on your phone.
not Subway Surfer, but yeah, like Squeak a Game or something. But now
Yeah.
it's like I got to do picture in picture and like I got to like why
gotta
do
bring a
I have to use
tablet.
my phone battery?
You had a laptop. You could that was sitting right in front of you.
I don't like opening my laptop on the plane.
What about a tablet? What if we got you a little tablet?
That I could mess with.
Yeah, like maybe an iPad.
Where are you going with this? You gonna
You
call
know,
me an iPad baby?
like the
Who
iPad
did I have to go to? Who did I have to take the phone out of her asleep hands last night and then remove the big ass in ear over ear headphones because you had fallen asleep? Because Liana, when she'll go to bed, she sometimes will be like, I'm probably gonna because she's like, this isn't good night because I might have to go to the bathroom
Yeah,
before I go
I
to
thought
sleep.
I was gonna have to go to the bathroom, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, and then I was like, an hour went by, 2 hours went by, and then it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, there's no way she's still awake. But I also didn't hear her go to the bathroom. I think she fell asleep. Sure enough, I go to the room and she's asleep. She's holding the phone like this. And like her phone has turned into black and white because it's charging on Power Saver or whatever. And they're reading out the results to Eurovision 2021.
2019.
And I was like, oh, she like slept through a lot of these performances that were here.
Yes.
So I slowly took the phone out of your hands
Yeah.
and the headphones. You didn't wake up, which was great.
Yes.
But don't call me an iPad kid.
No. Which is probably why I'm sleepy today, right? Because it's terrible sleep hygiene. But
Right.
ordinarily, like originally, the plan is like, okay, I'm just gonna watch some Eurovision, then I'm gonna go to the bathroom, then I'm gonna do like my nighttime routine. And
Right.
my body was just like too tired, and it was just like, no,
Go to bed now.
we're going to sleep now. Yeah.
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 You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually have a question that we got from our feedback form, which
Shout out.
And this is relevant because we, on our road trip, so we were in Phoenix and then we had to drive up to the Grand Canyon. So we spent a lot of time in the car. So we played the license plate game, which, to be honest, I feel like we nailed it.
We got like 30
We got
plus,
like 30
right?
something
And some
different
Canadian
states.
provinces.
We got a couple Canadian provinces. We got a Mexico plate and some other country. Like, we absolutely nailed it.
Brazil.
Yeah, there was a Brazil
Yeah.
plate. We got Hawaii and Alaska. What? And no like Connecticut or any of the
None of the
It was
ones
like
we
got-
see
we
on
got
a daily
Hawaii.
here.
We got Hawaii before we
Yeah.
got Connecticut, which
Yeah.
is so funny. But anyway, so we had a question from the forum that said, when you were a kid, did your family have any games that you would play in the car or when waiting in line to pass the time? So I Spy, the license plate game, etc.
We played a game where, because the license plates in Dubai are, I believe, were all numbers, no
Okay, no
letters.
letters.
And the game was finding plates that would add up to the number 20.
Oh, okay.
So I would,
That's cool.
And I mean, I think that helped with my quick maths
yeah, I was
because
gonna say.
I would be very quick with it because it's like 6 digits. So it was like doable. So that was one. And I think we had an I Spy-ish type 20 questions-ish type game. But also there weren't many long drives for us, like outside of like maybe 45 to an hour. So
Yeah, I think that's another thing, the concept of long drives, growing up in the United States versus growing up in Europe or like in Dubai for you, where for us,
it's a big country.
it's a big country.
Yeah.
It is the flight time for us to fly to Arizona or
Is
California
a flight to Europe.
is like a flight to Europe,
Yep.
essentially,
Yep.
right? So I went on a lot of like long drives when I was a kid, and my family, they were good about like providing me with lots of things like toys and stuff to play with in the car. Like I remember I had these little like sticky foldable like stick things that you could like make pictures out of. They were like little kind of like licorice sticks, but like thin and
Okay.
sticky and not edible. Definitely don't eat them. So we had a lot of like little things like that. But in terms of games, I Spy. But we would say, my mom said that I made it up, but I Spy with my Bambi eye instead of like my little eye.
You were the original Bambi.
I know.
Yeah.
I should be part of their little clique.
Yeah.
So that was one that we would play. Yeah, any type of like 20 questions or any type of, we played a name the category game that
Okay.
we play, and we played this in the car also. So it would be like fruits. And then you would just say like, you would go around the horn and like name fruit. Or you do it where the first
We did
letter.
that this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first letter starts with the
Sorry, I'm
last letter
adjusting
of the
a lot.
previous one.
I hope it's not distracting to people. I'm just trying to find a comfort spot.
No, I understand that. I fidget a lot on the podcast too.
Okay, thank you.
So sorry. I guess for
Feel
both of us.
understood.
So yeah, we did sea creatures in the car on this trip.
Yeah,
That was
that's when
fun.
I bowed out and just helped Liana as like a unit.
Yeah, we
and then I
played
got accused
together.
of cheating, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing these games where I'm gonna get accused. You named an obscure like urchin, and then I'm the cheater who looked up this. Come on, please.
Okay, you should have taken it to the rules committee. I think we need some sort of governing body for car trip games.
No, we do not.
Okay.
We played.
The rankums.
We did what we did at the end of the last week's episode
Rankums.
with the Wendy's.
That's why I
McDonald's.
thought of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we played Rankums, which was fun. I got way too much guff about some of my opinions.
You got a lot of flack.
which I was like, bruh.
So
like,
first of all,
why?
so we did waffles, French toast, pancakes.
I'm the only one that was pancake number one.
Everyone put pancakes third,
Yeah.
except for him who put it first.
Yeah.
And then you received both flack from waffle and French toast people. Both of us went in on you.
Oh, I'm sorry that
How
it's not perfectly
dare
formed to have little pools
They're
for the
just so
syrup.
boring. Pancakes are so boring. Why have a pancake when you can have a waffle?
You can have. I've never heard of a blueberry waffle
Yeah.
or a blueberry French toast.
Yeah. Those things all exist.
Yeah, well, I don't need them because I got my pancakes.
Yeah,
and
okay,
by the
enjoy
way,
your pancakes.
I ate pancakes original style.
Yes. Well, and then we made pancakes for you for breakfast because
To be clear, first of all, I did appreciate that was nice, but also, yep, we made pancakes because there was no waffle iron probably,
no,
and
we
no
made
eggs for
pancakes
French
you.
toast. And you know what I noticed? Everyone indulged. No one sat there
No
and went.
one's gonna say no to a like I will eat a pancake. if that's what's for breakfast.
I like pancakes. Is it a crime?
You can like pancakes?
Oh, I feel like I wasn't allowed to.
What voice was that? Mickey Mouse? I feel like I wasn't allowed to.
I didn't have pancakes. Gorsh. All right.
Oh, we watched The Amazing Race, and then Pooya wanted to be on a team with me. For
Okay, so we're in the B&B, right? And they have the TV, you know, the one smart TV with all the free channels and like
It had
Pluto
Tubi, I think, or Pluto
TV.
Yeah.
So I'm just scrolling through. This is like end of the night. We had just gotten to the B&B. Probably everyone's gonna go to bed in like 40 minutes, and I'm just scrolling. Land on Amazing Race. I'm like, I'm trying to find something that everyone here would enjoy, not something I would enjoy. And Amazing Race is like harmless enough. And if you're listening, I'm sorry. Liana's mom goes, you know, I think you two would be good on a team, pointing at Liana and my sister. And then they discuss that a little bit, whatever. And then it changes to, I think you two would be good in a team, Liana and her stepdad. And after the second one, I did feel a little bit like, we're married. Why wouldn't you put us in a team?
I want to put this into context, okay?
Yeah, and I understand the context.
You were injured, okay? But
we're not going
just
tonight.
Done kayaking.
And I did so good.
We're going back to the beach, and everyone's way ahead.
Yeah, because
you're injured. I get it. Yeah. You're injured. Yes.
And I wasn't that far behind. We're like 3 minutes behind.
Okay. Visually,
who was first?
You looked very far behind.
We had a checkpoint that we got off at, and then like walked around.
Yes.
Who were the first two people to arrive at the checkpoint?
Me and the guide.
Who were the first three people to arrive at the checkpoint?
Okay, yes, you were behind me.
Because the guide doesn't count. The guide has to be the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm in the first top two there.
I understand that. And all your reasons and your logic are valid. You do not come across as someone who has the oomph.
The urgency.
Yes, the urgency.
I would say I got plenty oomph.
Well, you don't have the urgent oomph, okay? That would be necessary to complete
that felt like an urgent
race.
So here's the thing.
You got plenty of oomph.
I understand that on the outside looking in, look at my stance right now. I'm chilling.
You're just chilling.
Leaning back. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, let me have my coffee.
Yeah,
I need
go
like
do
an
your
hour.
line dancing. I'm just going to lay back here. I get it. I fully get it. I understand the
Yes.
perception I put out there. But I feel like when it comes to games or stuff, I'm competitive.
Yes, I agree that you can be competitive.
And low key, so when I said I didn't have any, like I felt no pain from the kayaking, that was true in that the kayaking didn't make the muscle strain worse. But on the way back, I definitely started feeling the pain, like my chest more so. And I was like, I can't show weakness. Everyone else is like easy breezing this. I'm going to keep pushing and going. And that's kind of how I've always been, where I don't want to show weakness. So even if I'm like really tired, I'll push through and do it. But I only do that when I'm in that spot. Otherwise, like, yeah, why would I do that? I'm the guy that I'm like, what's wrong with walking slow? Who's in a rush? We have plenty of time to get there. Who cares? Funnily enough, though, on this trip, there was a moment where I was like, I can tell Liana really wants to rush to this next shuttle because she wants to get in the shuttle. And we can miss that shuttle. I don't care. It's 15 minutes extra. But I was like,
wait, which one?
When we were at trying to get to, we were at Grand Canyon and we were getting into that shuttle to go back to the visitor center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, but we were going to be late otherwise.
Yeah. Well,
because they only run every 20 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. So for me, it was about punctuality because we had agreed on a meeting time of 12:30 p.m. And if we had missed that bus, we would have been like 30 minutes late.
20 minutes.
We would have been 20 minutes late.
Yeah. Which to me, I'm like, we're all family. We allow each other 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes.
I think that is, yes, and also a fundamental difference in our behavior or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. If we set a time, that's the time that we're meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
I feel like I agree with that sentiment,
Okay.
but I have a grace buffer that I grant people
Sure.
and hope is granted to me. And that's like about 15 minutes, maybe 20 if it's like a extenuating circumstance.
Okay.
I'm like, fair enough, right?
If it's an extenuating circumstance, of course. But
Yeah.
if it was like you were too lazy to hustle to the bus, then like that's not an extenuating. Now, the elk who did slow us down, that was my prepared, like if we were late. And
Yeah.
it was like, well, the elk got in the way of the bus.
No, for example, when we got off the train to New York, we had to take a shuttle to the airport. And Liana was
That
like,
was very chill.
yeah, yes, but let me finish the story. Liana was like, so there is a shuttle that leaves in like 15 minutes from when we're supposed to arrive at Grand Central. Would you be open to rushing to get to it?
Not even running, just
Yeah,
hustling. Like a little
And-
pep in our step.
And I expressed a feeling I had. I was like, I don't want to sweat and then sit in sweat for the next 8-9 hours as a personal.
Yes.
So I was like, I would be okay to eat the extra time just to make sure that doesn't happen, especially because we have plenty, like we are arriving early enough that we will have way more time than we need at the airport anyway. And then we came to an agreement. Let's just walk it. To be fair, though, the train also didn't allow for that because we did arrive later.
Yeah, we came in late anyway.
Yeah,
so
so
it
we
didn't matter.
could-
Which, again, totally chill.
Yeah. But to go back to the amazing race of it all, I was like, I can do some stuff. Like, I could definitely do some stuff.
I think based on what you've demonstrated in general, that is not your skill set. Based on what you've demonstrated thus far, right? That is not your skill set. I
This
have
is-
also never seen you hustle, right?
What? What are we talking
When
about
have you
here?
when have you put some oomph?
I got hustle. Look at all the stuff look at all my
No,
content. Look at all the stuff. I'm a hustler.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Urgency. I have never seen you have any sort of sense of urgency.
Well, if there's a burning building, my urgency will wake up.
I'm about to light the building on fire
Like-
just to see.
Literally, think about the amazing. Do not commit arson to prove a point.
Oh wait, yeah, I'd never do that.
Think about think about the Amazing Race. It is a opportunity to be on a show, travel with a loved one, a friend, whoever, see as much of the world as you can survive to stay in, and if you so happen to make it through all the legs and you finish first, you also happen to get $1 million. And
Yes.
for me, obviously going into that, the aim is to go for gold, obviously. But in the event that we don't make it, we go out second leg, third leg, I would be like, I got to see like 3 countries with you. Treat. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I hold no beef, no problem. Would you be able to say the same?
I would want to win.
Yes.
Yes. And if I'm being 100% honest, and I love you very much, and you are my partner for life, and I will choose you 1,000 times over to be my partner for life.
Nothing good comes after anyone says that to you, team.
But
Don't get it twisted.
you would not be my top choice if I could hand select an amazing race.
Oh, I know.
partner.
I
Okay.
know. And just to spite you, you're not my top choice either.
Who's your top choice?
I don't know.
Okay. It's me.
Low key, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I would worry about the guff I would get.
What guff?
You would give me guff.
I would give you guff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
it would
would
be
yes.
maybe it wouldn't be good for our
Yes,
relationship.
that
Maybe
is
all the
why-
things you just said would get
Correct.
debunked.
Another reason why I would pick someone else to go on the Amazing Race.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I will be rooting for your downfall when you go.
when I'm on the show.
Because if you pick a different partner
And then go out
and
early.
then go out in the first leg,
Yeah.
you know how much ammo I get? Because I'm like, well,
I told you.
I could have done that. I could have made it to the first
I could have done
pit
better
stop.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's fine. I've been underestimated my whole life with so
Mm-hmm.
many things. I feel like sometimes the expectations of me are very low, which is fine. That's where I excel. Because then when the expectations are low, when you do stuff, it rises. It's like, oh my God.
Just
you
like
did
your
that.
boy, Sam.
Yeah, I claim him now. But yeah, it was a moment. There was a fleeting moment while we were watching Amazing Race where I was like, I'm right here. why can't I be a good teammate for Liana? And then I was like, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Fine. I'm fine. I understood why. Because and the reason I understood why is because you've said that you would pick someone else to meet before. This wasn't the first time you've said it.
Yes.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And we're better for it. Because what's important is that when you're in a relationship with someone, that they do not replace every single relationship in your life, right?
Oh,
You
that
still
is
need your
unhealthy.
family, you still need your friends, you still need like all these other people,
Yeah.
right? You cannot have the single relationship. So I'm just thinking of it the same way.
Yeah.
You're not replacing my amazing race partner.
I also think that we, like, as humans, everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. So
Correct.
you would excel in this show more than another show.
That is, and I will beat that drum from the rooftops that I could not do Big Brother. Never in a
You
million
would
years could I.
implode.
I would implode. I would be
You would-
Suri. I would be Izzy. I would be like having to do something all the time. I just could never do it.
You would be entertaining. You would be very entertaining,
And
and you would be
flame
great
out
for the show,
pre-jury.
but you would not win.
No, I would not win, and I would
No.
do terribly. Like,
Yeah.
I would be out in the first 3 weeks. I would be like the person that everybody's really high on week 1. They're like, oh yeah, she totally gets it.
Get
And
picked
then
first
she's
in every
picked
draft
first in every
out there.
draft,
She's
and then-
gonna, mother's
oh,
gonna
she's a
eat,
yeah,
and then you're going
2
to.
weeks in, my mind is melting from being trapped in a house.
I don't think
with
it's-
weirdos.
I don't think it's because like you possess the skills. I just think that you do not possess the patience
Correct.
or the ability to be idle. And Big Brother
That.
is one big idle game with like moments of urgency and then mostly like, all right, well, get in the group and clap and sing. Like that's
the
what you're doing.
benefit is when there's nothing going on Survivor, at least I'm starving. So like I
Well,
have low energy.
but also you're like, oh, I could go get this or I could get water.
And now with the compressed, it's like even
can sit on the
shorter,
beach a
right?
little
It's
bit.
26 days,
Yeah.
so it's even shorter or whatever. So
Well, that's the
yeah,
thing. 90 days is just impossible for you.
I know, I just
I've
couldn't-
seen you on vacation where we're away for 5 days, and by day 3, the hints of non-vacation Liana start rearing their head. Where Liana's like, "All right, so when we get back, you got to do this, 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 this. I'm going to do this, this, that, and then when we land, we have like a window of 60 minutes. Can we try and make it to the 50-minute window?" And it's like, babe, just. We're chilling. There's no
I'm
obligation.
chilling.
I
I'm
know.
so chill.
But
so chill.
I'm making that point to say that Big Brother would not be your forte.
No, it would not be your forte. But what if you could pick all the shows? You said Traitors, right? That's what the show you
I would
wanted.
want to do that more because initially I was like, I wouldn't want to do that because my quote unquote reputation as like a good pundit for the show would drop if I flop. But then I was like, I don't care. The game is so luck based that I would have fun. And I feel like the hype would be there. I'd be into it. So that would be fun. If I'm going for gold on a show, I think I could win the circle.
Yeah, you could definitely win the circle.
Yeah, I mean, we have won a circle game before.
Yes, that's
We-
right.
We played as a duo.
Yeah.
On one profile, and we smoked the competition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
great.
wild.
That was like the first week and a half of COVID lockdown, and within that week, I won that sequester game, and then we won this circle game, and it was just like, don't mess with us, don't mess with us.
Yeah, that was a
Urgency,
fun time.
urgency. That's urgency.
You did have a sense of urgency when you were like, dude, weren't you like walking to get like pizza?
I was
or
picking up our
something?
pizza from Domino's, and I was playing the game.
While you're walking to Domino's.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Again, when I'm playing a game, I'll go for the gold for
Yeah.
sure. But I understand that my demeanor does not speak that way, and honestly, I think I'm better off for it. I feel like it allows me, like doing the burst allows me, because then I don't feel like.
But that's where I think like Big Brother would be a better fit for you than The Amazing Race.
Well, I think if we were
Yeah.
to rank them
Yeah.
easily, that's the case.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But it kind of hurts not to be picked, but it's fine. I get it.
Is this like schoolyard pick'ems again? And you
I
pick
would
last?
love if you picked someone else and then I got cast on the same season with somebody else.
That would be really funny.
That would be a great twist. Hey, contact
Some
us. I won't.
secret duos.
I won't tell her that I'm on the show, and then I pull up with my duo.
Or like the X's season of Big Brother.
Oh God, you would want to team up with
No,
your
no,
ex?
no. But I mean, like, it's that kind of twist where all of a sudden, then like a rival gets brought in, or maybe like
Well, they did
Big Brother 8
yeah.
or something like that.
I would love that. I would love that if it's like, there's 12 teams comprised of like 24 pairs of people. No, 12.
Well, it would be
12 teams, 12,
of 12
12
pairs,
relationships. But little do they know, they're not on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who I would pick to
Would
have
you
my
sabotage?
teammate.
Would you sabotage your own team to save me?
I would double U-turn you so quick.
I know you're so mean, and I would save you. No, I wouldn't. I would save me
Yeah.
because I think I would have. Okay, this has always been the case whenever we've like thought or played about these reality TV shows. If I think you have a better shot to win, I will sacrifice my own game to help you.
Yeah.
But if I think I have a better shot to win, you better sabotage your own game to support me.
We'll see.
Yeah, see, exactly. This is the difference in our relationship. Someone cares.
Oh, but I'm the one that doesn't have urgency. I'm the one, I would like to win, but Pooya doesn't have urgency.
It's about collectively as a unit our success.
Yeah, but
whereas
it's not
you
the
think
same, is it? Like,
exactly. You're
obviously,
individually success-minded.
obviously the money matters because we
Yes.
share that money, right? So
Yes.
naturally, I would try and get you the win if I think you have a better shot of winning. Obviously, because there's money involved.
Yes.
But I've never played a game for money. I've
Okay,
only played
yes.
games where the title's there, and I'm going for the title.
Okay,
So
well, I think that a title is worth it as well. And so I will go for our shared
I
success.
think I would
as a
do
unit.
better than you in Survivor.
Okay.
I think the survival aspect, I understand that I would have a lot of flaws, but I think, I don't know, I feel like you give off like very like tense energy.
You know who said we were playing Blood on the Clock Tower? Brando was like, all of y'all would suck at Survivor except for Liana.
Yeah, and oh, let's listen to Preacher Brando, Fifth Boot Brando. He knows about the game.
Don't hate on
At least let me
Brando.
get advice from somebody who made the merge. Okay, man couldn't even make the merge.
No, I think I mean, look, I think if I were to ever for some reason go play Survivor, like there's a certain energy you have to go into the game with.
Oh, this is the cut they'll use to make your not the thirst trap. The fan cam video of you
Not the fan
on the
cam.
show. She's a man eater, and it's just you like.
Yeah.
But it's mostly you making like these like faces and hand movements.
Yeah.
She's a man eater.
I mean, I think the thing is it's also so luck based though, right? It
All the
really
shows.
the
Yeah.
hand that you're dealt, the cards that you're
The
dealt.
the tribe you're put with, or the
Tribe
group
you're
you're with,
people
who you're
put
working with.
who you're yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so, and even like we see this happen on Survivor all the time. You have a bunch of people playing, someone's in a really great position, and then an advantage or something gets thrown in that completely changes the game. That's like completely outside of that person's control, right? So you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
But it's fun to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, let us know in the comments. Who do you think would do best in Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother? And if it's all three same person, that's fine. We both agree that we're okay with that decision. Yeah?
Yeah. Are you gonna feel okay when everybody?
Me? Of course. Listen, the thing is, like, I tease, and I do say I felt like a little upset in the moment, but I understand. I get it.
I think that I think it's just so difficult, right? Because as someone who writes preseason predictions, so I could write preseason predictions for the two of us and be wildly incorrect, as I have many, many, many times in the past. And there's only so much that you can go off of when you're trying to predict how someone is going to do. Like, it's just, there's obviously sort of categories you can kind of put people in, but at the end of the day, it's just so difficult.
You never know. I feel like these games are intriguing to me because you truly cannot predict how things are going to go because every person is unique and every interaction can lead to a different reaction, which can lead to a different ripple effect, which can lead to a different person leaving. And that's the fun part, seeing who gels and who was able to manage the waves the most. So yeah, let us know in the comments. I would appreciate that. Also, shout out to the comments. A lot of you have been writing stuff in there. Someone mentioned that they've been dying laughing at work. Someone was like, I couldn't listen to this while sleeping because I was laughing too much. So I'm happy you're having fun with us. I appreciate it, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yes, I completely echo that, and that it does really mean a lot to us.
Yeah, this is a project that it's very difficult to think of the idea that we're doing a project where there is truly no topic behind it. It is just driven by the two of us, so you never know what to expect.
It feels like we got on a boat, like we built this boat and we like shoved out into the ocean. And like we don't really know where we're going.
Yeah.
We don't know where we're going. We don't kind of know what we're doing. Like we've got some oars. Pooya's good at kayaking now, so he's got the oars. We maybe have a sail or two, and we're just like sort of trying to figure it out, right? So as we move through this space, it is always wonderful to hear feedback and know that people are enjoying it because we're Getting lost at sea, baby.
Well, before we wrap up and leave, I have one question for you. Rank them. Giving you 3 here.
I thought we were going to call them rankies. Wait, what did I call it at the beginning of the podcast? I don't remember. Anyway.
I don't even.
Okay, rank them.
Okay. Fountain soda or fountain drink?
We talked about this.
Not on pod.
Oh. Okay.
Never mind.
Oh, sorry. Well, because I asked you this question.
You did.
It's can, fountain, bottle.
Cans
fountain,
number
bottle.
1. Fountains last for
Yeah,
me.
he hates fountain.
Yeah.
Again, another pancake take.
You do a ranky. You come up with one right now.
No, it's
off
too
the top
late.
of the dome.
No, okay. Apocalypse types: zombie, nuclear, and like a singularity type robot overlord.
Why it gotta be so grim? Mine are like, ooh, which burger would you like? And you're like, would you rather get infected by zombies? Would
No,
you rather
I'm not
live in
saying
a nuclear war zone?
No, I'm not saying you're infected by zombies. I'm saying you're battling the zombie apocalypse, which would personally be my top choice.
Are you joking me?
I think I have a better shot against zombies than I do about the
If a zombie
robots.
infects you, you're a zombie now.
I'm not. Yeah, but then I join them, and then I'm still winning.
Are you?
Yeah.
Mindless, like your loved ones might cross paths with you
My
and they're
life-
seeing you be a shadow of
My
your former
life
self.
becomes so simple. All I
Oh,
have to
Liana
do
the
is eat
scientist
brains.
is slobbering and trying to bite my shins.
I just want to nom on some people. Like that's like an easy existence. Whereas like radio, oh my god,
I would pick the robot uprising, Loki.
The robot uprising,
Yeah.
because you would be just like one with our robot
Well,
overlords.
I think then what would happen is they just role reverse it, right? They're like, "Oh, you made us Roombas, vacuum my house." I'd be like, "Okay, fine, I'll
I see.
vacuum the house." Like,
Yeah.
it.
You're in the
I'm still
galactic
me.
salt mines.
You know,
Yeah.
I might be now lesser than the robots, or I might be being like upset at what my life is, but I have one.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it would be, you know, how you have no idea how heartbreaking it would be for me if I'm like running away from zombies and in the midst of the zombies I see you and you are my wife who I've had for years and I've had so many memories with, and now it's like half your hair is off, your,
Yeah, but at least
your
you
eyes
know
gouged
what
out.
happened to me. Whereas with the
I don't.
robots, they're
That's
going to
now
separate
that is
us.
the last memory I have of you. Is that is awful, awful.
Okay, well, I think regardless, the nuclear apocalypse is always going to be last.
Yes.
Like no one messes with radiation poisoning.
Yeah, I just can't believe that's what we're about to end the podcast on. Is this grim ass rankies?
I think it's important to just prepare for the future if you have a choice.
Yeah, choose your life's gonna throw you a choose your adventure.
Yeah,
Liana
it's a choose your own
Boris,
adventure
age
apocalypse.
53. There are 3 doors in front of you. Pick one. And you're like, oh my God, we talked about this 20 years ago. I know exactly where I'm going.
Oh my God. And then there's going to be the Monty Hall problem. And I'm going to be like, Christian Hubicki, we've talked about this.
Oh, man, the winner of Survivor 63 really nailed this point across.
Actually, it's so funny. In my very, very first computer science class I ever took, we simulated the Monty Hall problem to actually talk about the percentages and like which options you should pick. So it was like very much a callback when that came back up in Survivor.
You left me with a bit of a, not a Monty Hall problem, but a problem. And that is, which did I enjoy ending the podcast more on? Natural disaster, zombie apocalypse, nuclear stuff, or math? Which one's the better note to end on? I don't know.
We can end on talking about what programming languages I learned.
Why would we do that?
I thought it might be more exciting to you.
No.
First one I ever learned was Python, your favorite. Pooya loves snakes.
That's not true.
It's true. He loves them. Send pictures of snakes.
Oh, we like doing these jokes now? Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. You sleepy?
Yes,
Yep.
I have been sleepy this entire time. I feel like I've plowed through.
I'm proud of you, Bean.
Thank you. No, don't do that again.
Yeah, I did
Shake
it
my
again.
hand. That's it.
You fell for it again.
I'm really gullible. That would
You
be my
are.
fatal flaw. So the issue that I have is I like will believe anything that anybody tells me until I don't. And I know that sounds weird, but like I have a hard time like unbelieving facts.
Mm-hmm.
So if it gets too far in and I haven't heard your story yet, I'm just never going to believe you. Like I'm blood on the clock tower. So anyway, so the point is that I'm gullible, and yes, I will continue to do that. You're going to do that next week and I will fall for it again.
I believe in you. I don't think you will. So do we have... That's the wrong hand. You wanted me to do that, huh? You can't get me. Put her there, partner.
Nailed it. Did I do it? I hit my head a little bit.
You gotta do it subtly.
I'm only coordinated enough for line dancing, but only the beginner classes.
Only beginner.
Only
Do
beginner
not try an
classes.
intermediate
Do
it.
not try the higher level.
Should we assign homework for next week for you and me?
I'm not in school anymore. I did too much school.
You're in school every day.
I am technically at a university every day.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't take classes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Well,
can I opt into my homework? Can you tell
I
me
mean,
what it is?
I'm
and I
gonna
can
put
choose
out a
when I don't wanna do
suggestion.
it?
You can say no.
Okay.
Would you like to not listen to any more of my music?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just gonna delete that playlist.
No, don't delete the playlist. Let me finish it.
Well, that would have been the homework. Is
Okay,
that you will
well,
listen
don't-
to some more.
Well, I just don't like have a time pressure on it.
There's no time pressure, but if I
Oh, okay.
bring it up next week, would you have
Well,
listened to a
I
couple?
can't guarantee that. No, because it's Survivor Premiere Week. There's a lot going on.
Going on.
Going on. We're
You
going
still have to
on.
commute to work and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm usually thinking. I like sometimes I'll have music on, but I'm not listening to it. I'm just thinking.
Okay, that's fine by me.
Okay, I'll do my best.
No, that's fine.
But no promises.
Do you want to give me any homework?
No.
Okay, I don't want to give you any homework either. Then, all right, let's get out of here with the math and the zombies and the homework.
Yeah.
Weird notes to end on. I hope y'all had fun with us. Again, please sound off in the comments. We love reading them. We read all of them. Your homework actually is Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race. Who would excel in each?
And leave a review.
Reviews would be appreciated. Actually, shout out to the reviewers. We've got a lot of reviews in the last
Heck
week.
yes!
So I did love to see that. Thank you. You can obviously do that at pooyaandliana.com or robiswebsite.com/lounge.
Boom.
Go over there, drop a review. We read them all. And you know what? We'll read one next week.
Heck yes, we will.
So go
you
for
could
it.
be the lucky person. What a prize.
You're on autopilot. This is your autopilot voice.
I'm sleepy. Let me go to bed.
I was told I have a lying voice. We'll talk about that next
You
week.
have a lying voice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do.
You're the one who told me this.
You have lying voice and you have tiny mouth. Those are the two things that you do. No, it's not that. You're trying to fake tiny mouth.
I'm not trying to fake. I'm just reacting. Let me react. All right. You can find us on socials at Lianaism,
Yeah.
at Pooyaism. Check out Liana's weekly
Yeah.
retweet of my post
Yeah.
of this podcast.
I tried.
I know
I just
you
don't
do.
like social media
I
anymore.
know.
I'm cranky.
Check out the B&B. Brand new
Yeah.
season is upon us. The premiere week. Who's the guest this week?
Taryn. I'm so sorry. It happened before. We didn't plan it. We asked him before the draft.
Well, at least Shaheen will get some good conversation pieces in. So
I'll advocate for you.
for what?
I don't
This is
know.
the thing. Taryn is not at fault for the decision he
Right.
made.
Shannon is at fault.
Taryn had no idea
Yeah.
what I was looking for either. Upset that he picked him? Sure. But he
Sure.
had no fault in it. So don't apologize to me for Taryn being on the pod.
It is just funny, though.
Yes, it is. The irony is not lost on me.
Yeah.
And the drag race is going on, and
That is
that'll be
correct.
fun as well.
Yeah.
And those are Liana's two podcasts you can check out.
Yeah.
You can find me, twitch.tv/Pooya. That's where I am when I'm not podcasting, and I'm back with a proper schedule this week for that. Myself and Robert talking Traitors, which has been a lot of fun. We're very close to the finale, so definitely check in there with us. And then Traitors, Australian Survivor. Myself and my colleague Shannon
Betrayer.
will be talking about Australian Survivor every week for at least an episode, usually the middle one. So check that out. And then 90 Day Fiancé, the Hot Mess Express, waits for nobody. This week, I had the lovely Annabelle on with me to talk about everything that went on over there. An Australian friend that I do have, Annabelle. Yeah. So you can check all those out anyways. We'll get out of your hair here. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Have a good one.